You ready to film another exciting episode? Real good at doing stuff?
I can't wait.
Gotta be more exciting for Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, I thought we'd do a Q&A video where I go through some of you guys' comments and try to respond a little bit to them. These kind of things are pretty quick and easy for me to do. Last time I asked if you guys like the hardcore tech stuff or just want to see stuff explode and catch fire, and you seem to, at least in the comments, everybody seems to like the tech stuff, so we'll keep doing some of that, at least in the short term, but it seems to be popular, so I like doing those videos. I found that I learned some stuff from teaching a little bit, because you're forced to kind of think out loud through what you're doing, and sometimes you'll think about things in a little different way or stumble on things and rethink things, so it's kind of a good process anyhow. All right, the first one here is, I guess, about the crankshaft balancing video. Caden Steele asked, what balancing setup is that? Computer software and fixture. I haven't seen one on a Bridgeport like that before. Okay, well, that's a great observation. So my balancer is a Turner crankshaft balancer. A couple of you guys noticed that. It's a machine that I've had for a long time, at least 15 years, I would say. It's a mill mount machine, so it mounts to a Bridgeport or any kind of mill, and it works great. I've run this thing to death, and I've replaced a couple cords on it maybe that we jerked out of the wall. It works. The software is great and constantly updated. The guys there at Turner answer any question you have. Super good stuff. So I don't know why any of you ever want a different machine. Like, the other ones take up tons of shop space, and they have basically a drill press attached to them. Why not do it in a mill? It's way better, takes up less space. So to me, it's a superior product, and it's not even that expensive. So if you're a newer engine builder and you have limited shop space and whatnot, consider that machine. It works great. And those guys are really good to work with. Okay, Rusty Wells. This is about beer money. If that's a 98 millimeter Outlaw Jose turbo, then that's the baddest turbo on the market today. I don't care what the other guys have. You have to have a 118 just to keep up with that turbo. Okay, so this car is beer money sponsored by Precision Turbo. It's a Precision 98 out of the box. And it works great. Jose makes fantastic stuff too, but this particular turbo is a Precision 98, and it does a real good job. We've kind of put a little bit smaller backside on it so we could make sure we can generate boost at really low RPM because of the style of racing we do. No prep, we can't leave with much RPM or power, so we need, and this is a relatively small motor, so we need to be able to generate some boost without really cranking the motor up. So that's the changes that were made. The backside's a little smaller than usual, but other than that, it's a Precision 98. Okay, this is about, I guess this is looking at the grudge race between Dorsey and Beer Money. And let's see who this is. Tracy Pickett commented, one thing that's readily apparent about Lyle's the driver is his routine is absolutely spot on, the same every single pass. That matters. Okay, good observation, and that's true. And that's one of the things that makes a good driver a good driver. And the good thing about this quality is anybody can do it, right? You don't have to have a unique talent to get into a routine, to develop that muscle memory and consistency. And it's hard to overstate how important this is. Your driver needs to do the same thing every time and not get rattled. And Lyle does that perfectly because he takes it seriously, you know. And one thing that any of you guys can do as drivers is get out there and practice this. All right. It doesn't cost literally anything, right? Just go out in your shop or wherever you have your car, on the trailer, whatever. And what I tell people to do is go through this. Get out first of all, start from outside the car. If it helps you, put your suit on, whatever. Get in, strap in, and then go through the burnout, the staging process in your head, right? If you have a practice tree, set it up in front of the car, whatever, that's fine too. And try to simulate a pass, the staging process, bumping in, reacting to the light. Go through the whole deal, and then stop. Get out of the car. Walk around for a minute. Get back in. Do it again. Do it over and over and over. And if you'll get better at this, and this will become muscle memory. Musicians, the reason they can play really fast and do crazy things is because they develop muscle memory. They practice until they don't have to think about what their fingers are doing. It just becomes mechanical and automatic. And you don't want everything to be mechanical and automatic, either in music or in race car driving, but you do want the basics to be in the background and just figure it out. You don't have to think about it. You don't want to have to think about dang it, which button is my trans brake? Which button is my bump box? If you got to think about that when you're bumping in, you got problems. You're not going to do that well. It's not going to work out well, you know, so you have to develop that muscle memory. So, all right, this is this. You don't have to think about it. No thinking. Some things you want to think about, that's not one of them, you know. And the only way to get past that is to practice, develop that, intuition and muscle memory. So good observation. Okay. Let's see who says this. On Alki 87. The tech videos are awesome. Keep them coming. I kind of thought billet atomizer 500s would make more power than that, so that's good to know. What do you expect it makes at 37 psi, around 1550 wheel horsepower or so? How much more do you think the 550s would go? I need an injector that will go 1800 horsepower. Also, what fuel pump does it have? Okay, so a lot of questions there. It has a Waterman pump. I don't remember exactly which one it is. I know we kind of upgraded that recently because the old pump that was on there was kind of at the end. It would not support this much horsepower, but it's a Waterman pump on there. I kind of thought billet atomizer 500 would make more power. Okay, so it probably does. Your guess is, I would say, probably right. Probably about 1550 rear wheel horsepower at the current boost level, right? Kind of thought 500s would make more power than that, so it's good to know. Okay, how much power an injector can make is a really, really complicated thing. It depends on a lot of things. One, the efficiency of the motor, the tune-up, and with alcohol, there are different styles of tuning. There's lean and mean, and I call mine fat and happy, but in my opinion, correct and wrong. I'm not a big fan of lean and mean, and I can point and show you why. Now, as far as so the other variables that would come in there are, you know, how you're tuning this thing, you know, where you want the RPM is huge in this. What kind of RPM you're going to turn it? You know, RPM eats a duty cycle really quick, you know. So that's a big factor. Like as far as the efficiency goes, I've got cars that dyno significantly more than this with 325 pound injectors at less duty cycle. Now, some people tell you that that's not possible. It absolutely is with a very efficient motor. How much more do I think the 550s would go? A little bit, 17 or something. I would think if you're going to 18, I would get some more. So you got room to grow, So I would go 650s or something like that, So that's the basics of the injector stuff. Maybe we may do some more tech about injector stuff in the future, and cover some of this. Maybe I can go up there and talk to Jack himself, and we'll talk about injectors one day, because I plan on having a series where we're doing just interviews with colleagues of mine in the racing industry, and we talk about all kinds of tech, really hardcore tech. I know I've been talking about this for a while, but it's just hard to get it all happening and build motors at the same time. Okay, so Keith Spencer says the HED crew needs to do drag and drive event like Rocky Mountain Race Week, which the one just passed would have been good. Okay, so there are no punctuation in this sentence. This is a gigantic run-on sentence. He talks about sick week and such. Okay, so we do some of that. We just won sick week with the Swedes car. If you go back a few videos, you can see a little bit about dyno in that car. Maybe some of you guys might not be aware of that, because I didn't go on the drive with those guys, and I didn't do a video about it. So in the future, I'm going to try to maybe be there and do videos about that stuff, because that stuff's getting more and more popular. But we do mess with the drag and drive stuff. I've got 2 motors going together now for both Justin Martin and Doug Cook. Drag and drive LTs that should be really cool. Assuming we can get parts. But that'll be coming up. And like I said, maybe hopefully if everything works out good, I can provide some coverage of that from our perspective on real good at doing stuff. Okay, this one is about beer money. What rear end setup do you prefer, and what is in beer money? From the Squirrel Chronicles, aka Rescues. Okay, so I would assume you're talking about the suspension style, maybe. So beer money is currently in anti-squat. And the rear suspension of that car is nothing special at all. It's just stock suspension Mustang. A lot of the stuff is the same as it was when it was built on the TV show. It hasn't even been changed. A lot of it's still the same, But it's currently an anti-squat. A lot of stuff, small tire stuff. That's generally how I run it. But I would not object to trying to run this thing in squat and see how it does. It's entirely possible it would like that. But currently in anti-squat, which means that the axle separates from the car and pushes against the weight of the car. The back of the car lifts when we let go of the button. That's the way it is now, but who knows? Maybe one day it won't be that way. Godecki Motorsports. Love the tech. Is there a way to put a button to cut the curve side of Profiler but still leave the self-learn on? Like a scramble button for Profiler, LOL. Because if I'm conservative with the curve, I'm locked in down track. Okay, excellent question. And there is a way to do that. In the Holly, or whatever your fuel injection may be, you can ground or power up the drive shaft sensor there, right? And then you could have it where if you used a scramble button or something like that, we don't, but if you did, for whatever reason, you could have it so that when you mash the scramble button, the ground is interrupted, and therefore the drive shaft signal will disappear and your Profiler will keep on trucking. The downside of that is you're going to lose everything, the Profiler, except for self-learning. You're going to lose your drive shaft, your profile is going to go away effectively, right? But down track, that may not matter. If you're hooked up and think you can get away with it, you could do that. Just interrupt the signal to the or from the drive shaft, and then party. So that's definitely a thing you could do, and pretty good question. All right. Design and build. I'm gonna tell you, we need to see the full skinny on these cover songs you've been cutting for the channel. Haha, seriously, is that you and the boys? No, I buy these, the intros, I assume is what you're talking about. I buy them at Walmart. You go back there near the home and garden section, and there's a kiosk, and you fill out a questionnaire, and you put it in the mail, and a few weeks later, it comes back to you on hard drive and or floppy disk actually, and you're ready to add the video and come up with a cool intro. So Walmart. Lunky Dog, were you in on the original competition where Beer Money was first built? I remember Lyle, maybe Chad Reynolds, unless he was on the other teams. Yes, okay, so yes, I was on that build along with Eric Yost, Customs by Biggin, Chris Bailey, Lyle, Chad Reynolds, Jason Smith. Years ago, we were actually on 2 years of it. But anyhow, I was the engine builder / tunerator guy and poet, the resident poet as well. So, Voodoo Vision. Love the tech. Interesting to see how people get it down. PSP, can you please do an intro song for my YouTube channel, Voodoo Vision? Okay. No, I cannot. Walmart. Walmart is your friend. Back there near home and garden section. Fill out the questionnaire. Okay, last question. James Rafferty. I don't understand why tape is being used on a whiteboard. There's even a whiteboard marker there to use. Okay. All right, well, that's enough for today. Maybe we'll do more of this. If y'all comment, ask some good questions there, I'll try to talk about them. That gives, just ask me stuff and I'll try to answer it as much as I can. These videos are quick and easy for me to do. I can just sit down and read a few questions off and we all learn a little bit. But that's enough for today. Talk to you later and stuff.